This is Daily Flash with your hosts, Andrea Jackson and Mitch English. Trending news and entertainment. This is Daily Flash.
Hi, everyone. I'm Andrea Jackson.
I'm Mitch English, welcoming you to Daily Flash. Halfway through the week, we're so glad to have you along here. You know, we have jobs where we talk all the time, and I'm actually learning more about how to be a better listener, and I think it helps you in every relationship that you have. You can imagine that. And I came across some research what I thought was kind of interesting is that we are actually better listeners when we close our eyes, and a lot of it is. And that's why you're always you're either falling asleep or whatever. Because of that, our visual cortex that we use when you're talking, somebody's talking, you're paying attention to their lips and what they're doing, maybe their facial stuff. So you're using that part of brain where you could be actually using it for listening. So if you're using just your orbital cortex, then you're able to absorb more of it according to research on that. Now, did you get anything I said on that?
I did. I got orbital research.
See? She was listening at least.
But
try that.
I will say this, like when they say if somebody loses like their sense of smell or their sight or their hearing, their other senses are amplified. Yeah. So by closing my eyes, I felt like my hearing was more amplified.
And it makes complete sense, right? Because now your brain only has to concentrate on one of those sort of things. And I think maybe we're in an age now where, because everything, when we do meetings or whatever, we used to do it on phones. Now we're in front of a camera. We're looking, and 9 times out of 10, I'm looking at myself. I have 2 monitors. I now put myself on another monitor so I don't see myself, because otherwise I'll be looking at it and, oh my God, my hair. Then I'm not listening at all.
Because you're paying more attention to yourself.
But now we have to keep our eyes open, and so you think all this information is coming in for you just to process something that it makes it harder to do. So keep that in mind.
For more than a century, it has been a crime to cheat on your spouse in the state of New York, but adultery may soon be legal in the Empire State thanks to a proposed bill that would do away with an old law that comes with 3 months of jail time. Adultery bans are still in the books in several states across the U.S., though charging and convicting someone has rarely happened. They were traditionally enacted to reduce the number of divorces at a time when a cheating spouse was the only way to secure a legal split. Only about a dozen people have been charged under New York's law since 1972, and of those, just 5 cases resulted in convictions. Most states that have adultery laws classify them as misdemeanors, but Oklahoma, Wisconsin, and Michigan list adultery as a felony offense.
Interesting. Here's the thing, though. Can you imagine the lawmakers that are really pushing this? Like, we got to get this adultery thing off the law. Why? Why are you so adamant about this?
Like the most famous cheating stories come out of there, like Anthony Weiner and all those,
all
those other high-end politicians up there.
But I feel like you always see that storyline in the movies, especially if it's in New York, where somebody's trying to get a divorce and they can't unless they catch their spouse cheating, right?
Yeah. You could see that as being plot.
You hire a private eye to find out if your spouse is cheating.
Shane, I want to find out. Okay, so maybe unwanted house guests could be an issue causing divorce, but a totally different unwanted house guest is happening in North Carolina, where wildlife officials there are now warning residents just to be aware of unusual hazards in the area. Bears waking up underneath their homes. Officials have noticed an uptick in bears making their winter homes under houses and decks. Wildlife officers have been known to relocate these furry tenants, except for the mama bears with young cubs. Some experts say that the fun part of the job is actually to convince a homeowner that it's actually okay to have a bear live under their house for the winter. Bears usually vacate their winter dens voluntarily late March, early April. If you know anything about that, they hibernate inside there, not bothering anybody. I would still be worried. Like, there's a bear.
Hey, boo-boo.
Hey, boo-boo. But just when it finally does wake up, you know, the video we showed you that saw him taking off, but you're like, oh, I'm tired, man, I'm hungry. Where do we got? Where's that cat I kept hearing for the past 6 months?
Here's an opportunity.
Yeah.
You set up a webcam.
Oh, and watch it, yeah.
And there you go. I mean, not that you want to disturb the bear at all, but it's fascinating,
you
right?
walk around with socks on the whole time in your house, or like tiptoe if you're like, I don't want to wake that thing
Why
up.
are you being so quiet? I got a bear downstairs.
You got a bear downstairs.
Well, Matt lived in our basement for a while. I had a camera on him. Not as exciting as you thought it would be.
No bears came to visit?
Well,
I started an OnlyFans page while I was down there, though.
he was... We got more flash coming up. I'm so monitoring myself. We'll be back after this.